Hey everyone, and welcome on into my beauty world. So if I don't look the best today, or I'm looking a little pale, or I'm not feeling the best, I am actually not feeling the best. My new medication is really kicking my butt lately. So I am just not feeling the best, but that doesn't stop me from wanting to play with new makeup. So we are going to test out some new goodies today. So what we have on the agenda to test out is going to be the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Gel Tint. I have the shade 2N in this. We're going to be testing this out today. Along with that, we are going to do the Tier Glide and Hide Blurring Concealer. I have this in the shade 2C. And then we are going to do a second day wear on the About Face bronzer stick. We're still testing this out. This is the Beach Freak bronzer in the shade Tan Lines. And for blush, we're actually going to do a dupe test. I'm going to test out this cream blush from Ruby and Millie against the Rhode cream blush that I have. I'm hoping that these shades are going to be comparable, so we will definitely give these a test and do one on each side. And we are going to also do a wear test to see how those wear throughout the day. Oh, and then for the eyes today, we are going to be testing out the new glitter puck in the shade Glimmer Pop. This is a beautiful, like almost champagne rose gold shade. That's what that shade looks like. It is, I tested out the Cyber Diamond shade yesterday and it was absolutely beautiful. So we are going to test out the Glimmer Pop today. So to start out, I'm going to use my Hale Cream Skin Toner. This is the Five Below Rhode Dupe Toner. Then we're going to prime the eyes with the MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. I do actually have to leave the house today. My husband and I are going to his parents' house to do our taxes. Which is unfortunate that I feel so crappy, but what can you do? This new med of mine has really been kicking my butt. And while that paint pot dries, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my sunscreen. This is the Skinnick Sun Essence. 2 lines on my finger and rub that all over the face. And I think I'm just going to use the same eye brush that I used yesterday because I'm going to use the same colors. Since I'm wearing black, I'm going to go into my Revolution Master Icon palette and use the 2 lighter cool tone shades. And we're just going to put that in the outer corner and into the crease. You can see that some of the darkness is clinging onto my eczema. Been trying to blend that out, but it's just not blending for me. Do you see that? How like there's one spot up here that's just super, super pigmented. We're just gonna have to deal. Just looks so patchy on this eye. And it does happen sometimes with my eczema, but usually not this bad. We're just gonna say we're done with it. I just don't care. And then we're gonna put the glitter puck in the shade Glimmer Pop all over the eye. And this is what I am excited for. Oh yeah, wow. That's beautiful. That is just unreal. So, so, so beautiful. I love a simple look. I really do. Has been my go-to lately, and these glitter pucks are phenomenal. All right, I'm just gonna take the regular end of this quick flick eyeliner, just try to do a small wing on each side. Oh, that looked pretty good. Let's see if we can mimic that on the other eye. Good enough. Cousins, not twins. Okay, and then let's try to use up this Hourglass mini mascara. This is the Unlocked Instant Extensions mascara. I'm almost done with this little sample. And I think that's about the end of its life here. So good, we'll get to put this in my empties. I love this mascara, which sucks because it's expensive, but it is really, really good. And that is what the eyes are looking like. Honestly, they look beautiful. So normally I would go in with my Herborian CC Red Correct Cream, since I'm still testing this out, but I do want to see how the foundation does on its own. So I am not going to go in with that today, and we're just going to go in with the foundation today. Now, I did see that sometimes this foundation like leaks, so I'm going to be a little bit careful with it. I think we're just going to put some on the back of my hand. This is the consistency. It really does feel like a gel, like it says in the name. We're going to take my Anissa Beauty Pinnacle Foundation brush and just work that in the skin. You can see it's not covering my redness completely, but it is just a tint, so I didn't expect it to. I think this is a good color match for me, for sure. I'm going to take just a little bit more, and we're going to see how buildable it is. Oh yeah, and that's building up nicely. And that is looking really healthy. Really nice glow. It looks really nice on my nose. I think that looks really, really nice. Now let's do the Beach Freak bronzer again. I'm gonna go ahead and take my e.l.f. putty brush. We're just gonna get some directly on there. All right, I think that looks really good. I really like the color of that. So next, let's open up this Ruby and Millie blush. It looks like it was opened, but I did check it from the bottom and it was never swatched. And this is in the shade Dreamy Girl. And then I have the Rhode in the shade Sleepy Girl. And guys, this is the Ruby and Millie in the shade Dreamy Girl. And then this is the Rhode in the shade Sleepy Girl. They are pretty close. They're a little bit different of an undertone, just slightly, but they are probably the closest that I have. So we are going to test these out today. So I'm going to start with the Ruby and Millie. And I'm going to put the Ruby and Millie on this side of my cheek, which is my right side. And I'm going to take my e.l.f. putty brush, just get some right on here like this. That blended out so effortlessly. The color is beautiful. It's very, very dewy. This looks like a really good formula compared to the Rhode. So I really like how that looks. And that is the Ruby and Millie. And then let's take the Rhode in the shade Sleepy Girl. I cleaned off my brush, so we're going to use the same brush. We're going to go on the other side. And that is what the Rhode side is looking like compared to the TJ Maxx side. So TJ Maxx and Rhode. I'm going to take my beauty sponge. We're just going to lightly dab over these. Overall, the colors on the cheeks do look nearly identical. They have about the same dewiness. I think that this is going to be a dupe. I really do. But we will see how these two wear throughout the day. But again, this is the Rhode. And this is the TJ Maxx. I think that looks really good. Now for the tier, we're just going to test out the liquid side. And again, I'm not going to put a color corrector under, even though I normally do, because I just want to see what the coverage looks like. And for a concealer brush today, we're going to do the Angie Hot and Flashy A506 that I also got from the Ulta sale. It's a little dark, but it does have some pretty good coverage. Dried down almost immediately. You can see my under eyes look a little bit darker than my foundation, so I may have to exchange this for a different color. Let's do a little bit of setting powder. Let's do the Bare Minerals again. This is just in the shade Translucent. And I just do my T-zone and just a tiny bit over the blush. I think that does look really nice. The under eyes look really, really smooth. It's just a tad bit dark for the foundation. The smoothness looks amazing. I'm going to take my brush again and just go into the two shades of the Revolution Master Icon palette. Pop that on my lower lash line. Gonna put a little bit of that Glimmer pop. right on the inner corner there, on the lower lash line. And then for highlight, let's do a cream highlight. We're going to do the glass highlighter from Rodial in the shade Champagne Glow. These are just deluxe minis that I got from Ipsy back in the day. And I really do love the way these look, and they do go over powder well. We're going to put a little bit on the very inner corner to tie in the highlight to the look. That is what the highlight's looking like. So beautiful. Okay, I'm really liking the way this is turning out. And then we're going to take the Maybelline Super Lock in the shade Deep Brown. Just run this through the eyebrows. We're going to take another spoolie here. Just clean that up. Okay, that looks good. Now for lips. So for lips today, we're going to start out with the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip Plump Liner. This is the one that I got at the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty Week 1 that has the little snake charm. That is just so cute. So we're going to start out with this. And this is in the shade Cool Mauve. And then on top of that, we are going to do the Fui 3D Volumizing Gloss in the shade 30% Current. And we are not going to do any sort of setting spray because we want to see how everything lasts on the face. Okay. Just doing this look. Do feel like I lost the Rhode blush a little. So I'm wondering if I should go back in with some of my brush here. Just put a little bit more of the blush back in on each side. And then cleaned off my brush. And let's go in to the Ruby and Millie side again. Just bring this back a bit. Okay, I think that looks really good. Okay, and again, we have the Ruby and Millie in the shade Dreamy Girl on this side. And then we have the Rhode in the shade Sleepy Girl on this side. So this is Rhode, and this is Ruby and Millie. All right, and that is what the face is looking like. I think it turned out really well. I will probably do a check-in at the end of the night just to see how everything is wearing. But so far, let's go over everything. So the lip liner, this lip liner is a little bit cool, cooly, like a tingly, cooly feeling, or tingly, cool feeling on the lips, but it's really cute, and we'll have to test the longevity. I'm sure it won't last very long, but not mad at it. The Fui Volumizing Gloss is really, really comfortable. It makes the lips look really juicy and really volumized, so I really love this. The Milk Hydro Grip Gel Tint is looking really, really good, especially where I set it. Has a bit of a dewy finish, but it honestly blended out beautifully. The About Face bronzer I am liking. It is a little sheer, so you do have to build it up a little bit, but I do really enjoy it. I think that it looks really nice, and we'll see how it wears today. The Tear Concealer in 2C is a little too dark for me, I think, at least with this foundation, so I may have to get a different color. But overall, I love how smooth my under eyes are looking, especially after being powdered. The Ruby and Millie blush is looking, it's performing and looking exactly like the Rhode so far. I think the shade Dreamy Girl is definitely a pretty good dupe for the shade Sleepy Girl. And we will see how it wears at the end of the night, but if it wears just as well as the Rhode, you can save your money, because these Ruby and Millie blushes, they have almost every color of the Rhode right now at your local TJ. I mean, it's a hit or miss if you can find them and if they're not swatched, but honestly, this Ruby and Millie is acting just nearly identical as the Rhode. So if they wear the same at the end of the night, you are going to be able to save your money, because these are $5, $4.99. All right, and I think that's everything that we did that was new today. Oh, the concealer brush. It blended out beautifully. It's really nice. I like the shape of it. No complaints. All right, so I will check in with you at the end of the night to see how everything wore. All right, hey everyone, it's the end of the day. Had this makeup on for, I want to say about 8 hours. Let's see what it is looking like. Let me go ahead and grab my mirror so I can really look up close. Wow, the makeup is looking amazing. So this is the Rhode side, and this is the TJ Maxx side. Now they have just about the same dewiness. Now I know I did put a highlighter on, but they have about the same dewiness. And it looks like I almost lost coverage on the Rhode side here, and I don't have that with the TJ Maxx side. So y'all, I hate to be that person, but save your money. Run to TJ Maxx and get a Ruby and Millie pocket blush, and you are going to be just as happy as with the Rhode, and you're going to be paying $4.99. Or you can get the duos for $6.99. So the Milk Makeup Skin Tint looks amazing. I still have most of my coverage, and I wore a jacket today. I still have most of my coverage. You can see a little bit of redness, but honestly, it covered my redness pretty well. The concealer you can see is a little dark. It didn't really crease much. It is a little dark, so I might have to get a different shade. But overall, the smoothness is really nice. The Half Magic Glitter Puck is, as always, mesmerizingly beautiful. And no glitter fallout. So The bronzer is still on too. I'm loving the way that bronzer looks. It's really dewy, but it looks really fresh. So for 8 hours of wear, I think that the makeup turned out really good, and so far it's not looking like I wasted my money at the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in my next one. Have a great day.